Good evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Tamiru Nimsat and we at Tar Television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. President enforces fiscal discipline with fixed capital expenditure limit. Government prioritizes public-private partnerships for economic growth. No change in electricity bills as regulator keeps tariffs steady. News in detail. A capital expenditure framework of 1,380 billion rupees has been established for the upcoming fiscal period. President Anukumar Dissanayake confirmed the allocation while emphasizing fiscal responsibility.
The President confirmed that the capital amount allocated for next year will be 1,380 billion rupees with a strict 4% ceiling that will not be increased. He emphasized that the government has established strong financial discipline and will operate within these defined limits without obtaining unnecessary loans. The President stated that the administration recognizes the constraints on public spending and will not spend capital unnecessarily while staying below the established ceiling. The disciplined approach represents a significant shift in fiscal management, with the government committing to work within its means rather than resorting to excessive borrowing. The announcement underscores the administration's commitment to responsible economic management and sustainable development practices that prioritizes long-term stability over short-term spending.
President Anukumar Dissanayake also outlined the government's strict approach to capital expenditure, setting clear limits for the upcoming year. The President emphasized financial discipline during his address in Ratnapura.
ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා අපිට සිතුසේ අපිට මුදල් වියදම් කරන්න බෑ. එහෙම වියදම් කරන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. අපි තාමත් ශක්තිමත් මූල්‍ය විනයක් ඇති කරලා තියෙනවා. අපි දන්නවා අපිට වියදම් කරන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රාග්ධන විද කැපිටල් එක කොච්චරද? ලබන අවුරුද්ද අපිට වියදම් කරන්න පුළුවන් කැපිටල් එක බිලියන 1380යි. 104යි අපි සීලින් එක තියන් ඉන්නේ. ඒක අපි වැඩි කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසාද අපි වැඩ කරන්නේ මූල්‍ය විනයක් එක්ක. ඒ නිසා අපි වියදම් වල සීමාවන් තියෙනවා. සිතු පරිදි අපි ණය ගන්න යන්නෙත් නැහැ. අපි නාස්තිකාර ලෙස මේ වියදම් කරන්න යන්නෙත් නෑ. වියදම් වල සීලින් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ඇතුළේ අපි වියදම් කරන්න ඕනේ.
Senior economic advisor to the President Duminda Hulangamu asserts that public-private partnerships would be highly considered by the incumbent government and a lot of activities have already been taken over the matter. Senior economic advisor Hulangamu made these observations addressing the 131st annual general meeting of the Planters Association in Colombo recently.
It is very important for a country to have a law on public-private partnerships. The law will facilitate and guide how the NAPPs are supposed to work. It will give a clear vision and a mandate to launch the NAPP projects, and that will be a tremendous boost to the economy. Already, the law being drafted, we have launched several projects. The Vogambar Prison complex will come out for public tender. Several properties in Colombo will be given up by the UDA for public tender. The Savukaskanda oil refinery project, which is about $1.5 billion, has been already tendered out. So similarly, the dairy farms, 9 dairy farms that are currently, of the 27 dairy farms at NLDB, 9 will be put to the private sector for participation. Some of the estates, the coconut estates run by NLDB, will be given to the public. So all those reforms are being done in the next 3-4 months. You should see some of those investments materializing and creating space for the private sector to invest and bring the growth that we need from 4 to 5% to 6-7%.
Emphasizing the plantation sector's contribution to the country, Senior Economic Advisor Hulangamu also mentioned that over 1.5 million Sri Lankans are directly or indirectly dependent on the plantation ecosystem, which generates approximately $1 billion in exports annually. Participating as the chief guest at the AGM of the Planters Association, he further added that the existing Port City law will be amended before the budget, making available more investment opportunities.
Then on the Port City, we have revised the regulations. There's a temporary suspension of tax holidays until IMF came to terms with it. So we have, with a lot of negotiation and bargaining, we have been able to revive the Port City law. We will be passing the gazette that permits primary BSIs to get tax exemption. So we have already approved 4 up to about $1.5 billion investments. Those should materialize in the next 6 months. We pass in the Port City Amendment Act most likely in September, which will provide the space for the Port City Commission to market the project. The SDP Act, which is under the BOI, that will attract large-scale investment with certain tax holidays and concessions, will also be passed in September. So all these laws we are planning to pass before the budget in November. And we feel that it will create the impetus required for private sector investment.
Stay tuned. We will return after the short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. After taking into account of all the relevant factors, electricity prices will not be increased, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka announced recently. Addressing the media at the PUCSL office in Colombo, its chairman, Professor KPL Chandralal, asserted that the present tariffs will continue for the next 3 months without any changes.
So this time the Commission decided not to increase the tariff as suggested by the CEB. So we decided to keep the present tariff and continue with the tariff for the next 3 months. They had requested 6.8 tariff increase. When we get such a proposal, we open that proposal to the public consultation. So we commenced the public consultation on 8th September in Trincomalee district, and we continued that process till 3rd October, and we had the final session in Colombo district. And so yesterday evening the Commission summoned, and the Commission made a unanimous decision. So accordingly, this time the Commission decided not to increase the tariff as requested by the CAB.
Public Utilities Commission also revealed how they come to the decision of not allowing the tariff hike request by the CEB at this juncture. Director General to the PUCSL, Damita Kumar Singh, said that in comparison with the 2024 January electricity tariff, this would be a reduction of almost 45%.
With respect to the 2024 January tariff, the Commission has reduced the electricity tariff by 21.9% in March 2024 and subsequently by another 22.5% in July 2024, and again another 20% from there in January this year, that's 2025. And the last tariff revision was a 15% increase from the January tariff of 2025. So when we consider the total effect with respect to 2024 January tariff is a 44.3% reduction. So the current tariff applicable is a 44.3% reduction from the 2024 January tariff. I think this is one of the goods that people get at a very affordable and reduced price considering the amount of reduction that has affected from January to this date.
High-level talks have taken place between the President Anurukumar Dissanayake and plantation companies focusing on securing better wages for state workers. The discussions centered on implementing a wage increase that matches recent hikes in other sectors.
During the meeting at the Presidential Secretariat, President Anurukumar Dissanayake has stressed the critical need to ensure plantation workers receive a living wage and see genuine improvement in their living standards. The discussion has specifically addressed the methodology for implementing this wage increase, which would align with the salary revisions granted to public and private sector employees in the previous budget. While company representatives have outlined the significant challenges currently facing the plantation industry, the President detailed the government's comprehensive policy framework aimed at developing and strengthening the entire plantation sector. The meeting has also seen participation from key ministers including Minister of Plantation and Community Infrastructure Samantha Vidyaratna and Minister of Labour Anil Jayantha Fernando, along with senior ministry secretaries and commissioners. Representatives from major plantation entities expressed appreciation for the facilitated dialogue and contributed their detailed views and proposals for the future sustainable development of the crucial plantation industry.
Stay tuned. We will return after the short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The second edition of the Maritime Conference titled Voyage Sri Lanka 2025 was held recently in Colombo. The conference has been organized by the Sri Lanka Export Development Board in collaboration with key stakeholders from the public and private sectors. The conference, which has been conducted under the theme Unlocking Sri Lanka's Blue Economic Potential, aimed to highlight Sri Lanka's contribution to the blue economy and its potential as a global maritime hub. Addressing the Voyage Sri Lanka 2025 Maritime Conference, Industry and Entrepreneurship Development Minister Sunil Handunetti emphasized that Sri Lanka's geographic location is advantageous for the maritime industry. International development partners including the Asian Development Bank, International Maritime Organization and United Nations Development Programme, as well as academic experts from the University of Moratuwa and University of Ruhuna, and local and international experts participated as resource persons at the event. Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando delivered the keynote address on unlocking Sri Lanka's blue economy through sustainable maritime investments and economic transformation.
We may argue why having these such huge potential. It's pretty obvious fact when we look at blue ocean economy, it is pretty obvious that huge potential is there. We have been having this thing over a long period of time, but we have not been able to just materialize the benefits of this thing. Why? There could be many reasons, but I don't think that there are technical or inherent reasons. So many reasons are connected to either administrative or political reasons. To great extent, I think the political reasons. The mandate given to us, we have either not used it to bring the benefits out of this, or sometimes we may have blocked, or sometimes we may have over-supported an influence in areas where you can maximize your personal interest, not the public interest. So those are the causes. So therefore, we are a government that we will never ever conflict our private interest with the public interest, so that can be guaranteed.
Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando also said that the country has already given a message to the world that the incumbent government is intact and all its stakeholders are working together for common purposes instead of personal interests of individuals.
Now everyone, no matter irrespective of any differences that everyone has in terms of political ideologies or any other things, everyone, if just look at the countries from a general perspective, everyone says that so it has been stabilized. The political stability is key. There are no rifts in our government. It is not only a two-third majority. It is a government we work with the policy consistency with one aim. It is evidenced by today, for example. So here, 3 ministers together. In transforming the society, apart from the other things that everyone do, every agent or the stakeholder does, the investors and investments will have to do a bigger role. In doing so, in contributing the economic development of bringing investment, apart from the other factors, the confidence of the investors in the government, in the policies, the economy is a key. So therefore, you can trust our government and work with our government. Always we extend our support with this stabilization.
The government has called for international business and investment partnerships ahead of Sri Lanka Economic and Investment Summit 2025. The announcement was made during a hybrid briefing session with the diplomatic community in Colombo recently. The summit, scheduled for the 2nd and 3rd of December in Colombo, aims to strengthen the international partnerships through private sector engagement at what organizers call a defining moment in the country's economic journey. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Arun Hemachandra highlighted the opportunity for business partnerships arising from Sri Lanka's remarkable post-crisis recovery, sustained economic growth, improved reserves and strong reform momentum. Ceylon Chamber of Commerce Chairman Krishan Balendra described the summit as a high-impact platform for investment dialogue that will showcase reforms and sector opportunities. The event is being organized jointly by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism and the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, with diplomatic missions being urged to mobilize foreign investor delegations to participate in the December gathering. With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.